You didn't think you'd have a hand.
What do you think we should do about North Korea? I'm like, what? I don't think I'm qualified to answer this.
That was Kid Rock. And apparently, Kid Rock was one of Trump's informal advisors on foreign policy, which honestly seems to make a lot of sense if you can think back to how Trump handled a lot of foreign policy questions. Now, Trump had a lot of terrible advisors. We can get to that in a little bit. But I do want to go to more of this interview that Tucker Carlson had with Kid Rock. Let's hear what he had to say.
I was there with him one day when he ended the caliphate. He wanted to put out a tweet, and it was like, I don't like to speak out of school. I hope I'm not, but it was something like, he's like, tell him like, yeah, the tweet was, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was like, if you ever join the caliphate, and try to do this, you're gonna be dead. He goes, what do you think? I go, awesome. Like, yeah, tweet that out. I was like, I can't add anything better than that. But then it comes out and it's reworded and more political and like, a little politically correct. And I'm like, just being pretty, we're looking at maps. I'm like, am I supposed to be like, I make dirty records sometimes. Like, I do it here.
You didn't think you'd have a hand.
What do you think we should do about North Korea? I'm like, what? I don't think I'm qualified to answer this.
That interview was fantastic. I actually really appreciated that interview because nothing makes me feel better about where we are under Biden's leadership than watching that. Because for all the flaws that Biden has, and he has many, we talk about them on the show quite often, at least we know he's not being advised on foreign policy questions by people like Kid Rock, especially as we're dealing with this invasion into Ukraine by Russia.
Yeah, so I want to clarify who's at fault and who's not here. In this case, Kid Rock didn't do anything wrong. The president says come to the White House. Sure, you go to the White House. The president says, what do you think about North Korea? And then he says, I don't know a thing about North Korea. I'm an idiot. Okay, good, fair, no problem. Kid Rock didn't do anything wrong, okay? Donald Trump, I mean, what are you doing? Look, so again, how do you know who you can trust in news? Because news, unfortunately, has become wall-to-wall propaganda. Well, when our side does something stupid, we don't go, yeah, that's great. Like the other day, Nancy Pelosi thought she could fix Ukraine by reading a poem from Bono. We ripped it apart. We made fun of it. We thought it was ridiculous. We didn't go, oh, that's so great. Look at Tucker Carlson. He's like, oh, that's great. He said that he was asking you about North Korea and then about foreign policy. He loves it. Why do you love that? If Joe Biden is bringing in random like entertainers and hey, Kim Kardashian, what do you think we should do about Ukraine? I'd be like, no. And by the way, and what else did Trump do? He brought in Kanye West, who's literally mentally unstable, and asked him what we should do about policy.
I mean, look, in 2017, Kid Rock, Ted Nugent, and Sarah Palin had dinner at the White House with Donald Trump, okay?
But honestly, out of the four of them, Trump is the dumbest. So he probably, like, the average IQ in the room was lifted when they entered the room.
I don't know, that's a tough competition, Cenk.
It is, but I'm telling you, Trump wanted to nuke a hurricane.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's a pain. He thought you should inject bleach to fight coronavirus. He asked that as a legitimate question to doctors on national television. He doesn't even know not to ask it on national television, right? No, he is one of the dumbest people alive. So he was asking Kid Rock because he thought, well, maybe he knows. Okay, so that tells you all you need. Well, but the Republican voters, they look at that and they go, oh yeah, that's what a president should be, man. You should find one of the dumbest entertainers in the country and you should ask him about foreign policy. Ha ha!
You know what though, Cenk? I feel like you're being a little unfair to Kid Rock. I'm being serious because he might not be an expert on foreign policy, I'll give you that. But what I appreciate about Kid Rock is he's the kind of guy who's not afraid to say F you. He's just not. He's super brave. And the fact that he's willing to curse in his music and in real life just makes him a real American hero.
We've done stories before about how Kid Rock will make videos where he's riding a giant phallic symbol And he'd be like, oh yeah, F this. I'm like, dude, you're making it a little on the nose, okay?
My God.
And he doesn't get it. He's like, he's talking about how tough he is while straddling a giant penis. Okay, I'm like, okay, which by the way, you can be tough doing that.
There's nothing wrong with straddling a giant penis, okay?
As long as you know what you're doing, right? He just doesn't get it at all. And yes, again, Kid Rock didn't do anything in this situation. And yes, he's definitely smarter than Trump.